everyone. Sports and education are very crucial to help children become stronger and successful individuals. And today we have the pleasure of speaking with the amazing Fatima Agarkar, who is the founder of Agarkar Center of Excellence. She is a renowned educationist and has deep passion for sports. So, welcome on Catch Up with Kiara.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure. I've watched you grow and into this beautiful lady doing incredible work, and it is actually my honor to be on your couch today.
Thank you so much. Firstly, I want to tell you that I was a professional badminton athlete, and during fifth standard, my parents took the decision of homeschooling me. This was a very tough decision for them because I wasn't getting enough support and time from the school to completely focus on the sport. So, as an educationist, what would you like to say? How important is sports and education both for children?
Critical. It has to be a part of everyone's DNA, whether you take it up professionally like you did, or whether it's a lifestyle choice.
True.
And I feel schools play a big part in making sure children get those opportunities. I do feel bad that you had to get out of school to pursue that. I wish schools and managements, and this is what we have been advocating as well, make sure that children who want to pursue their passion, whichever sport it may be, they need that time, that flexibility, a little bit of effort with the curriculum tweaking to make sure that that balance is even within the school. You took the choice, but I'm hoping going forward there is a lot more effort made to make sure that athletes are supported within the school structure.
True. So, can you also tell us that how sports can help, children in the school as well as life?
Kiara, it's actually a very pertinent question. It's something that educationalists have been fighting for forever. Honestly, sport is about concentration. It's about multitasking. It's about teamwork. It's about social skills. It's about endurance. It's about resilience. Now, all of that, if you get on the sports field, imagine how much it will help us in our classroom.
That is true.
Children will be calmer, happier children, which we obviously forget that, being in a classroom is not because the next 13 years I have to do this. It's also about enjoying the process. And when you have fun on that park, and you come back in the classroom, obviously your energy levels are better.
I know, I have faced this actually. And are there any challenges that schools face while trying to include sports in their curriculum? And if they do, how do they overcome it, or how should they overcome it?
It's always a fight. Ask any principal when we're looking at timetabling, how do we factor in more sports period? But then there's English, then there's math, then there's science, then there's pressure of the parents, because eventually it's about performance at the board level, and for that you need that time with the periods. There are progressive schools who've taken that initiative to say this is as important. Perhaps one less math period and one more PE period might just help, but even in PE you can do math.
Actually, that is true.
Kiara, if you really want to do it, you can. Now it's up to managements, but I hope you get a 50% co-curricular and a 50% academic. Children will be happier.
More than happy. So talking of curriculum, like when I was homeschooled, I had the option to shift from IGCSE to SSC. So what do you think that, students who are following curriculums like CBSE, ICSE or IGCSE, do they have enough time to focus on the sport while continuing their schooling?
Kiara, you're going to get me into trouble.
I really want to know, because it was like I did not have an option that time.
Yeah. Okay, so the reality is, and I have to be truthful, the rigor that the Cambridge curriculum or the IB requires, there's immersive learning, there's lots of research. It is time-centric, right? Now, when you do that and then you have to spend 10 hours at the park, get up at 4 o'clock, do that, then make it to school, obviously it's demanding on that child. I don't want to take anything away from the national curriculum because it has a lot of depth as well. But yes, the quantity is manageable. So truthfully, yes, Kiara, and you will get me into trouble.
Because I'll tell you actually from my personal experience as well. When I was in IGC, I'm not complaining, but I'll tell you what I faced actually. I used to wake up at 6 o'clock because 8 a.m. I had to reach the
Yeah.
school. 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. I was in school, and then 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. I went to my aunt's house, and from there I changed everything and I went to Mulund for practice. I used to practice for 2 hours, come back home, and I was like dead. Because it's like mentally
And it's not
so
fair.
tiring.
And Kiara, it's not fair what I feel that students at that age, and you were very impressionable, you were 10,
I was 10 years
10
old.
years
correct.
old, yeah. I mean, that you're expecting a 10-year-old to do what a 40-year-old does, balancing it out. It's just tough. So, in that sense, yes, Kiara, the option is to look at a more controllable curriculum,
Correct.
and that is the reality. But I'm hoping that international schools also look at this positively and feel that they can support the child by perhaps flexi hours.
Correct.
An hour off earlier.
True. So, as I said, I was talking about Mulund, the badminton court I went on. And I've been waiting to ask you this question actually. What do you
Oh, dear.
believe are the challenges that Mumbai faces in terms of sports infrastructure?
Oh my
Because when I was playing badminton, like for me, I felt that ki Mumbai lacks comprehensive facilities where everything is available under one roof. Like you see Hyderabad or you see Bangalore, they have large schools, they have they have good facilities as well for sports. How should we address these problems and what solution do you suggest?
I mean, this is so. There was another child, Gayatri Sangi. Extremely talented swimmer, like you were talented as a badminton player, would travel from Cuff Parade right down to Goregaon because that was the only other Olympic pool available.
And-
Physically, just traveling there
Correct.
meant that you're half dead, right? So, in terms of infrastructure, this is what we are hoping.
Also, the traffic Mumbai.
Exactly. So, I mean, let's be honest, Mumbai real estate is what it is. Commercially, we've grown, we have more buildings, park spaces are not available. But what we can do is perhaps have, there are large colonies today, like societies that have come about where there are facilities. There are tennis courts, badminton courts, etc. But I feel schools need to take that responsibility. Perhaps shared responsibility. So if I'm doing badminton, you do tennis, so that at least in the proximity, kids can have a more collaborative nature. Because honestly, where is the space? So even if I say, oh, we should build, but where? Unless we go on the rooftops and do it like Dubai does. Maybe that's an option. But infrastructurally, we will always be at a disadvantage in this city, which is why a lot of our athletes are moving out. I'm just hoping societies take a responsibility, schools take a responsibility. And I know Aditya Thackeray is doing a lot of work to initiate that there is more place for children to play. It's at least a step forward.
I used to first go from Andheri or from my school Powai, which was in Powai. I used to go to either Mulund. After that, I shifted to Goregaon. So, considering Mumbai's traffic, it used to take over an hour at least to reach.
I know you're eating in the car. I know it's
It was it's very exhausting. Now I want you to share some experiences where sports has created significant changes in the lives of the young students, the young children. How has it benefited them?
So when I was managing trustee, I had a bunch of kids who were extremely spirited. I mean, people like to call them naughty. I call them spirited because they had a lot of spirit. There was one child who was always getting into trouble for everything. He couldn't concentrate on his math, his Hindi, his English. Genuinely, he was miserable. But you put him on a football field and he came alive. So here's what we did. We told his mum, bring him in a little later, get him off school a little earlier, let him only come for that short duration, and we will ensure that he gets his core skills. The kid was more focused.
Oh, wow.
He was more motivated. He felt that someone finally recognized his sporting talent and was not criticizing him. The kid's gone on to he's at university right now at Richmond. He's actually written to me on LinkedIn, and I never thought he would actually even send an email ever to say that, can you be my mentor on my thesis? I almost died because this was a child who was labeled to say, कुछ नहीं होगा इसका, football भी पता नहीं कहाँ जाएगा. But this is an example that if you support a child, if you give a child the confidence, it can happen. Then there was another child who was extremely overweight. She struggled through her childhood with obesity. What we encouraged her to do is play sport. She didn't want to. It was not something she wanted to do.
नहीं करना है मुझे.
नहीं करना है. We got her. We motivated her. She started becoming fitter.
Wow, that's good.
It gave her more confidence. It boosted her morale. She was brilliant academically, so that wasn't the problem. But it was just the self-confidence. But just the fact that she was so fit and so able to even beat the boys at the sport gave her an amazing sense of confidence. That girl today is heading up a fashion brand. And designing clothes for young adults. It gives me confidence that if you actually make an effort and include sport, not just counsel the kids and boost their morale, but give them a lifestyle choice, it makes a big difference.
As you said, confidence. Now, for me, I'll tell you personally, my leadership skills and my personality, it developed when I started playing badminton. Also, I was just like kind of a girl, but it helped me, it actually helped me develop these traits. What is your take on this?
Absolutely, it just gives you a sense of purpose, right? You go out there, you don't know, you're bunched with people you don't know, you don't speak their language, you still have to work in, I'm talking about team sport, but even individual sport for like a badminton, to go out there on the court and practice and show resilience. Also, sometimes your coach may not be around, so you'll have to figure out some answers. That is a life skill that I hope every educator factors in. I feel this should be assessed, not math, not English, not science, because this honestly is what gets you in life. Everyone will forget your math score, but they will not forget the confidence that Kiara showed in calling me up and saying, let's schedule this interview. These are the questions that I'd like to ask. It tells me that you learned a lot from sport, and if you can be that role model, I think a lot of kids can benefit from this.
I appreciate your kind words. Now, in the previous question, you were talking about support. So I'll tell you about my personal experience again as well, that when my parents took the decision of homeschooling me as well as sport, a lot of people were like, kya homeschooling kyun kar rahi hai? It's not going to help you and all. They mocked me royally. And even though I had the support from my parents, it was very frustrating and draining because obviously I was an 11-year-old child that time. Additionally, I had to then quit my passion because of my health. But again, there was like that negativity, अरे इसने बैडमिंटन छोड़ दिया, अभी क्या ही करेगी तू, इसलिए homeschooling नहीं करना चाहिए था. And that support from your family and all is so necessary. What would you say, how should mental health be supported and how parents can also help their child here?
It is non-negotiable. We need to, as adults, not just parents, but any caretaker to any child needs to recognize that our world was very different. So when people say, "Arey yaar, we also did it," that world was simple, this world isn't. You've got immense pressure, immense scrutiny. People will not mince words and are cruel. They have opinions that are circulated by the minute. Whether they're experts or not, opinions come out. So the scrutiny that children grow through in this era needs therefore support. And I feel right people. There are mental health professionals who should come in, and it's not a taboo to say, hey, listen, I'm going through something, I need help. And I feel parents need help, caretakers need help, and children are the last ones who actually need the help. So guidance on how to navigate this period. It's not easy. I can imagine homeschooling would have been a taboo. I feel that people need to leave people alone. If this works for me, that's my choice. I've taken it because it helps me.
Exactly.
You go to school, I'll homeschool. Why can't we both be happy?
Exactly.
Yeah, but we're not a mature society. We're getting there. We have a lot of work to be done to make sure that our kids get the support. First, we need to get the support to be able to support our kids. That's my mantra, actually.
So, and like so many youngs, children who love sports as well as obviously studying as well. What do you want to tell them? Like, ki you're doing sports and education, it's possible. What do you want to tell them?
It is totally possible. It is the only thing that you should be focused on. You may get that 2% less, it's okay, but honestly, universities, colleges, wherever you're going in higher education are valuing the fact that you showed resilience to play a sport, to play it at a decent level, to commit yourself and balance off academics. Honestly, everybody is getting 100 on 100. I तो feel 105 on 100 might become the norm now. Bonus marks मिल जाएंगे. Everyone's getting it. So what's differentiating you is your ability to have played sport, music, dance, whatever it is, whatever your passion is. But you stand out, right? Because you pursued something, you gave it something, and it's tough. It's tough to balance.
Thank you so much for sharing your insights and this information on this overlooked subject. Once again, thank you for joining us on Catch Up with Kiara.
Thank you. It's a pleasure. Thank you.